Everything is not funny. They will blame me for it. I play. My neighbor press one.
You know, why I said I wouldn't comment or say anything. I've never said anything about this Tinubu's fake economics and the fake statistics is this. To be honest with you, this man have absolutely nothing to offer. You understand me? I don't like people seeing white and calling it black. I don't understand. This man have nothing to offer. I keep on showing a kind of fake audio statistics, and people will go to work. Some of their slaves will go to work with it. Just dishing out something for them to work with, even though they know that these are all lies. But they will keep on pushing it in your mouth. You have to grab, you have to take it, you have to swallow it. And it's very, very unfortunate that as we start now, we seem like we are hopeless, we are helpless. You know, I don't know. But to be honest with you, there's nothing to write home about these people. To be honest with you, and now I think it's UK. Today, I'll be tomorrow. Well, I believe this thing is not up to Nigeria political elite. This thing has been influenced by Western world. You understand? Because I tried to understand this. I couldn't be able to fathom a kind of, you see out of 200 and something million people, you see this particular person has someone that can be able to lead this country. And I believe in your country, you will never allow this kind of people to even become a kind of counselor. But now you are pushing this kind of man. To be honest with you, what is happening to Nigeria is not just about our political elite being greedy or what have you. It has to do with Western world. And I said this before one day here, that if Nigeria should be emancipated, that other Western Africa, they will follow suit. And these people wouldn't want such thing to happen. You understand? Nigeria is like a center of West Africa, like a pillar, like a father. In a family, Nigeria stands like a father. And you know, father controls almost everything in the house. You understand? Father have the commands and everything, almost every power in the house, except a simple. You see? So when you look at this, all these things, I do read a lot, and I try to understand the issue we are having. I try to understand, because there are kind of people that when they use, that's the way they say this proverb. When they use the left hand to give you, they now use the right hand to collect it back. That's what they are doing us, and people are not seeing it. That's why I always get disgusted when I see some people fighting PO, maybe because of what you get, or what maybe because of where PO comes from. I get disgusted because these people are not see, though I don't expect everybody to see the way I'm seeing. Likewise, you don't expect me to see the way you are seeing. But if people should be able to read, they will understand that sometimes, that's what I used to say, sometimes if some people, intelligent people, wise people make a post, you don't see me there reading just for reading's sake. I read a kind of meaning into that their post to understand some certain things. And if you can come to a conclusion, we have to understand that Tinubu being there, it's not even about Tinubu. It's not even about Tinubu's power. But it's about people that are still ruining us by clumsy. And it's affecting everybody. That's what I said this one certain time. Even if Obi win 2027, the fight, that's when the fight will start. It's not going to be within this thing. It's going to be against the Western world. But people don't know. If Obi manages to win 2027, you see all this fight you are fighting now, we have to double the fight. To be honest with you, because it's not going to be easy. Especially when Obi start to deliver on his promises, or deliver those kind of things we have been, thinking about, we have been dreaming of in Nigeria. So it's going to be a very difficult task for all of us. People are not seeing it. If you think that it's about Tinubu, it's about Tinubu's power, it's a lie. It's a big lie. We are just like when you buy this all this chicken, like small chicken, you buy, then you put inside a cage or inside a carton, make a small hole for them. We are just like that, but people are yet to see it. They just pack us. If they make a hole, we breathe. If they don't, at the end of the day, what happened? If we die, if the chicken die, you replace them, you buy another one. We are just like that for to them. They don't care about anything. They don't care. Think if it happens to be a kind of, if their hand is not in Nigeria politics, you think this thing, or if they are sincere, like if they like, let me just say, if they're like 40% sincere with all the things we have been hearing about, if they are 40% sincere, you think this man will be in Asarok today? You think they don't know the right thing to do? You think they don't know that this man, this PO is the right person for the job? You think all this, you think they don't know? They know all these things. And as I'm talking to you now, they will rather support Atiku than to support PO. That's the fact, whether we accept it or not. And many of Nigerians that call themselves educated people, they have not seen this. They are not seeing this. Because an average Nigerian, what he cares about is what to eat, what I'm going to get, or what I'm going to get to satisfy myself, my family, or by extension, cronies. They're okay. They don't care about the masses on the street. They don't care about anybody. At all, they will just hire touts, hire this thing, just be giving them peanuts to be singing their praises. That's what they care about, and nothing more. To be honest with you, we need to emancipate ourselves, because we are in a kind of big dungeon, and nobody is coming to our aid except us doing it by ourselves.
All right.
Talking about this alliance of coalition.
Okay, great, great. I was just going to move you in that direction, but thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. Talking about this coalition or alliance, I was reading until I saw that this thing I said. So what I'm trying to say here is this. I know we have been on this issue of ADC for a very long time, until last week. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Atiku declared that he's running, and everything just died down. Like everything becomes so like there's nothing happened.
You think that
wouldn't like,
has to do with it?
You have big thing to do now. We are not kids. You know what we have been discussing here for a very long time. We have been saying this here for a very long time. Sometimes, sometimes, let me be honest with you, too. Sometimes I just like, okay, you know what? I don't have power to engage you. I don't have power to discuss about this thing. Believe whatever you want to believe. If you guys, within you believe that this man, Atiku, will do better. Sometimes inside my heart, I feel like, okay, since you guys believe, you guys think that I'm lying to myself. Okay, since you guys believe that, for myself, I was like, okay, let this man Kukuma get this ticket. I just want to see something. Because when you try to tell people the truth, they keep on lying to themselves. Everything is against this man. Everything, even the numbers they angered on, everything is against this man. So why are you now pushing this? Everything's against this man, to be honest with you. When we try to educate people, tell people, see how it's going to be. See. Look at the permutation. They will now go back to 2019. They will leave 2023. Oh. They will now move back to 2019. Very deceitful people. You don't want to talk about 2023. The last election you had, you don't want to talk about it. Every election, there's always a shift. There's always a kind of dynamism. Like it always shifts. It's not what happened in this election cycle that will happen in next election cycle. So if you want to compare and contrast, then use the previous one, not going back 8 years ago. Because when you try to go back 8 years ago, it shows that you have a kind of interior motive. You are not true to yourself. You are lying to yourself. Look at what happened. Like I used to tell them, if they argue, what I will tell them is this. You see, the issue here is that PO is now on the line. That's the issue you guys are having. If PO is not there, I will say, okay, at all, I will believe nobody will be worse than Tinubu. Like what we used to say during Bugari's time, nobody will be worse than Bugari. What is happening now? So if PO is not on the picture, we have to say, okay, let this man go now. At least nobody is going to be more worse than Tinubu. But PO is there. And PO have opened people's eyes to see. You understand me? And PO is the kind of person that you are going to hold responsible. Forget all this thing they will tell you. All these are responsible. Foul. People that are kind of identical twins with Federal. You are going to hold them responsible. For what? Who is going to listen to you? See, once the top spoil, there's nothing that we do that will signify a kind of positive, or that will give you a positive this thing. A kind of positivity from downstairs once the top spoil. And we try to remedy this remedy the top. We try to make a kind of this thing to make sure that we get the top right. And people say no, you have to leave the top and hold the branches responsible. See, we have a very long way to go. You have a very long, and what I used to tell them about this PO, it was 3 months ago. Let me say this and yield the mic. It was 3 months ago I said this thing for the first time, and people, I think you were there then, people attacked me, but they are not seeing what I'm seeing. I said that PO is a smart man, yes. He knows the reason why his leg is staying LP, ADC, and PDP. In politics, you cannot write any party off. That's what you have to know, no matter what. You understand me? There will be a time. Sheikh Bala Muhammad said something, was it yesterday or day before yesterday? And he was referring to Wike and Co. There was a time, all these things you are seeing, thing changes. Nothing is constant in this life. So this Wike, before then, all of us, we never knew that one day PDP with the English power, or PDP will be wiped out of power. We never knew until APC came. So all these things you are seeing now, all this Wike power, flexing his power you are seeing, I believe that one day it will come to an end. And I said this thing the day I was trying to bring PDP in the equation. I said this, that let me be honest with you guys. What is playing out here is politics. You can never write anybody, any party off. PO know exactly what he's doing. And I said that ADC supposed to be the best party for PO, while LP is the worst party for him. I said this thing here, and I give my reasons. For LP, it's about the meeting with Abure and Wike, because they have judiciary in their pockets. Then I say again about Arabambi comment 3 weeks or 1 month ago, that they are waiting for PO at that LP primaries. Then I said my mind is not there at all. 1% of my mind is not in LP. Then I said of ADC, it should have been the best if Atiku should do the needful. I said this thing here. Then I go over to PDP. I say, listen, let me be honest with you. If they are going to do their convention, at least they have gotten their first step right by zoning to the south, or it's understandable. Okay, now, if they are going to do the right thing, do their convention, explain Wike, Anyang, Damagugu or what, I don't even remember his name. All these sabo, expel them from, and these people that did anti-party, this thing, expel them from the party. If they should be able to man up, not for a mere mouth, man up, do the work they're supposed to do. Reposition and reorganize the party. If they are having some court cases, they should withdraw them. Do what is right and make PO a kind of consensus candidate. That is possible that PO will end up in PDP. And ending up in PDP have the second structure after APC. And again, what PDP needs is a breath of life in the party. And the people that have that breath, they are obedient. So if obedient group, obedient now, should get involved in PDP, you will not hear about APC again. And mind you, that post you made, people, and I said this last time, I said ADC people or people coming here to tell you they're obedient, but we should go to primaries. Anytime you make a comment about PDP or even LP, they have to attack the party first. Just watch, observe their modus operandi on this one. They have to attack the party first. Try to talk down on the party so that you remove your mind there. The next thing is that ADC is the best because they know that once PO walk away from that or walk out of that ADC, it crumbles, it collapses. No two ways about that. So whenever you see them, whenever you see somebody make mention of PDP or LP about PO, you will see them attacking the party just for you not to have that option because they know their plan in that ADC. So lastly, what I have to say here is this. I think PO is playing both sides. He's playing ADC people. He's also playing APC, the incumbent. So for now, I don't think they know his next move. And he's funny. He's interesting also. He's interesting. And one thing I have to say is this. For them that are hoping to use PO supporters, because what they need is PO supporters. They don't even need PO to start with. It's PO supporters. So for them that are still hoping, maybe some of them are here. For you guys that are still hoping for PO to become audio VP to any demigod, it's not going to work. I tell you guys that I can vouch. I've never vouched for any project, but I can vouch for that. It's not going to work. So you guys should stop or jettison that mind and focus on what you focus. I hit my mind. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Seeking.
Yes, sir. Thank you, my brother Tudo. Man, I just realized that you can wear many hats, man. As an accountant, as a political analyst, and also as a theologist. Um, I was going through when I was listening to your
Sorry.
introduction.
Sorry, before you continue. I'm actually a political economist by training.
So that's four hats right now.
I am not an accountant. I'm a political economist by training. That was what I actually studied in college. So, but then in economics, you have to talk about numbers. So, but I'm not an accountant. I just wanted to say that the theology part that's past tense.
So the reason why I mentioned this is sometimes it baffles me to the because looking at the kind of quality people we have in the country. One time I was listening to people like Chidi Odinkano, analyze something, Professor Chidi Odinkano. Then I listened to the people, the guys in our Supreme Court making decision. And I ask myself, are we blind at all? So it's actually true that the worst of us lead us. So that's why I know I have an idea what you study, but it tends what I'm trying to point out there is that you sample every 10 educated Nigerians somewhere, you can get at least two better than 10 of what we have in power in our politics at the moment. And the current government speaks so loud about our current government. When I listen, let me kind of touch up a little bit on the introduction you made. When you talk about credit, you know, 35%, what determines your credit is 35% of your payment history, 30% of your amount you owe. And when you talk about the amount you owe, you know what that means for Nigeria. So when they tell you this revenue, how good it looks for us, I mean, how it is for us, how good it is. You have to ask yourself the right question. And this is why they gaslight, they lie to you about, they say, well, America owes this kind of money. What is America's credit? Because they look at how much they owe. They also look at the length of your credit. They also look at their utilization. The big part of it is utilization. When somebody approves you for $20 million, you use 18.
And speaking before you continue, did when you the day you build America's system, America's trust, America's military,
Yes.
okay, badass military, and
Yeah.
ability to just print your own currency, and then you can come and compare yourself to America.
Yeah. So when they present some of their spokesmen, they come and lie to Nigeria in our legacy media and say, well, even in America, they borrow, they do this, they owe this amount, they owe too many. And you don't look at this thing. What is the average? How many people can look for job more than 10 months in America without having a job? At least something. How many people can look for a job? How many people can have an apartment without electricity in America for 1 month? Let me not say one day. Without water, without running water. So when you try to make analogy, these stupid people we have in power, they always do that. Oh, election is not even perfect, even in America. Please stop lying to Nigerians. It doesn't count. Like when you talk about look at all this, it's all against us. Credit hit 35% payment history, 30% amount owed. Utilization is 10%. So even if you said you make this revenue, where do you fall in? What does it look on your credit? You still not, nobody still trusts you. And corruption is eating you up. They can't trust you. It makes it more difficult too. They know you're borrowing money to waste. Because as you go to the meeting of leaders, you go there to beg for money, you park a $100 million private airplane. What are you saying to them? And you want them to borrow you money? And you want your credit to improve? No. Your payment, your utilization, how you use the money, they look at all that. Another thing I want to talk about, just now, my brother, there are few points that you hit, but there are some I disagree with you. And I've started disagreeing on this issue for so long. A lot of our people talk about it, and I've come to reject it and accept what I want to accept as a human being. Why? We so much believe the Western world determine what we need to do, and they determine what we do. And even our politicians are beginning to take advantage of that because when they make mistakes, they say, oh, yeah, the Western influence, the Western this thing. Come on, my brother. We chose democracy. And we are doing our own thing. We chose our people. We chose INEC chairman. And all these things. And the funny part is, when some of these countries try to come in, we invoke that power. We are a sovereign country. We are a sovereign country. And again, it's also because recently, and I encourage some of my colleagues who are diaspora in the diaspora to join. Not just Nigerian spaces. I started joining a lot of American spaces. Speaking, telling them about a little bit of us and something, and you can see a lot of people are beginning to participate in the African leadership, criticizing the African leadership, because some of us have started speaking up, telling them, no, this is what is happening. We are not actually in support of these guys that you're seeing, because sometimes they don't even know. But the point I'm trying to make, everything the West want us to be like this, the West want us to be like that. But you have, when they give you opportunity to choose your INEC chairman, you choose a professor. And when you choose a professor, the professor rigs the election. And when your people, they give you aid for food, you embezzle it. You don't give it to your people. They give you this, you do it, you don't give it to your people. You politician, they give you opportunity to do electoral reform, they even lobby you, give you money. So they want you to conduct free and fair election, pass good laws, you embezzle it on corruption. And we come back and sit, oh, they were, well, my people used to say, if you If you decide to look like what they described you as, then that's who you are. It's becoming too, oh, it's becoming, how do I say it? You don't do too much for us. Every time we say Western world, what are we doing ourselves? We don't have a mind of our own. We run our own elections. They even support us, give us money. We waste it. We corrupt it. We want them to take us, we want us to give us everything. Baby, give us bottle. Babysit us. That's what we need. And when they come in, we say, oh, yeah, yeah, we're a sovereign nation, as the APC people will say when they try to come in. They went in Libya. It backfired. And they become more careful. We think, oh yeah, they are becoming, they want it. And I'm not making excuses for them, but what I'm trying to do is let us not stop creating this avenue, these excuses for our politicians. Because when they do it, it's like, oh, the Western world, they mark it on the Western world. What are you doing when the power falls into your hand? I know something. These excuses, all this nonsense will end the day PO. You will see it. You will see how much influence. I know the Western world has influence. But when it comes to taking care of your people, I don't think anybody will want you to treat your people like shit. No influence will want you to treat your people like shit. Quote me anywhere. They can influence your military, influence a lot of them, not through the treatment you give your people, not embezzling money, not building hospitals, not building schools. Regarding the ADC thing, to my brother, I kind of uh, I will congratulate all of us because one of the things they've been fighting is the beauty. I have been using this word, the beautiful bride, and they just appointed at it. They needed PO's voters, but they didn't need him. But of course, the PO voters, the block is the obedience, and that's the beautiful bride. They've not been able to take the beautiful bride to the date. And that's been the biggest problem. They don't want to say it, they know it. And the resistance has been there. And immediately Atiku declared that he would go through a spokesman or whoever, the interest died down. Most Nigerians, it's like we've seen this too many times. But again, I'm not saying it's dying down. But like Echison said, I didn't fault Obi for not choosing any party because I knew what he was playing is the long game, and I want him to play it. The only thing I want is I wish there is another brand new party that could be a first safe for him because
So
I'm
not
not sure.
not Labour, not PDP.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, not any of those. I wish there is another one that was there is someone somewhere is registering say, hey, this is a fail safe for you. Mm,
Seeking anything can
yeah.
happen. Don't you know?
So, but in PDP, there is also a sign. I always
Taking
tease
taking
this. There
before
is
before you go to PDP, the other part of my tweet was I've heard this argument of misdirection. So those who come to argue for the coalition will say, guys, why are you worried about this? Why are you disturbing yourself? This is all part of the plan. This is all to misdirect the government. You don't want it to show all your cards. So if the article announcement was part of the misdirection, then maybe the misdirection has led to misfiring because, or maybe where we are right now is all part of the plan. What do you think?
It's
I
a
don't
lie.
think it's a
Tudo is
good
a lie.
plan.
Forget these
Let me
people.
react to that.
Forget that. Just giving excuse. Forget these people.
Let me react to
Forget
that
these
in a
people.
second. I have always said it. If ADC is, if they are serious,
Oh my God, I can laugh.
if they are serious from day one, this game would have changed if they made up their mind. Say, there's nothing better than planning, Tudor. I have this candidate. from day one, this is the guy we're using to run. Throw whatever you want to throw. Let's build on this guy. By the time you go to 2027, you have achieved what you want to achieve with P2B. It's telling me the long game, we don't want to show them all your card. That's the mistake. I mean, if we're making a plan, let me point out again. Even though they will now say, even when the APC, so-called APC, they had people in mind when they built it. So if you're building a party and saying, okay, well, let's play a game, we don't know who will emerge, to me, that's not planning, because by the time you bring out somebody, and I see some people, which is backfiring now, they are calling good luck Jonathan. I told someone, it's like, that's going to draw a long legal battle, especially in a corrupt Supreme Court. It's a liability for whoever is saying it.
CK,
Yes.
CK, 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 sorry for interjecting. That Gulo Jonathan, it was this article Sankofan. They were the people that brought this issue up, and I said this. I think I said it before. I said 3 days after I said it here. They brought this issue up, so they are trying to write PO off. They are looking for, because why they brought this issue is because we said that they are not going to jettison this issue of zoning. That zoning remains sacrosanct, whether they like it or not. Then they now say, okay, if zoning remains sacrosanct, that means Gulo Jonathan. After Gulo Jonathan, they brought Amish in. So they know exactly what they are doing. The articles that brought it up, not any other people. So I know all these games they are playing. Sorry, sorry for
Okay,
interjecting.
so yeah, that's true. They're trying to test water, and upon testing water, and I also want us to engage more on this the 4 year term thing. That's another line they started using. Their big men are coming out to say you can't achieve anything within 4 years, which is absolute, like I call it madness and stupidity at the same time, because technically your term is 4 years. So if you can't do anything in 4 years, like who we have right now, who wouldn't be able to achieve anything in the next 20 years. Okay, anything that will trickle down to the people, whatever he's saying, I don't understand. So that means they shouldn't even, that person should be a lifetime. Let's go to a lifetime president then. So we have to also engage on the topic, on some of these lines they are using now, because what they are using is trying to shift the goalpost every time. We're not even done, because every point they bring up, PO counters it. All right, you say this, I can give you this, and they shift the goalpost again. Now, oh, the problem is we know we can't do anything in 4 years. How are you not able to do anything in 4 years? If you can't achieve anything in 4 years, you shouldn't be running for presidency or any official post. I live in the United States. I know the change Trump has done in the less than 2 years. Whether it's positive or not, to some people it could be subjective, but you can make a lot of policy changes in 1 year. I'm not talking about 4 years, 1 year. And it can trickle down to the people as well, depending on how you effect those changes. So this is some of these things are what is holding us
All right.
back. And as a group and as the people of Nigeria, we have to, speak loud enough to say we've seen it all. We are seeing your cards. We know the game you're playing, and we know we are not going to succumb because we know what we want. And welcome to that runner guy that logged in. I know you, and you know yourself. You can come back into space. We engage you if you want, or you are just here to spy on us.
All right. Thank you, C King. Yeah. Let's move forward. Tobina, are you there?
I do. I just the talk. My just finish.
Okay.
Make someone else just. Yeah, I deal with you now. I listen to now.
Okay, no wala. Thanks. Um, let's go to Jagun. Jagun, bro, Alpha.
What, what's up, my man?
You the chop too?
What's up, my man?
What's up? You still the chop?
I know they chop anything.
I
my
hear
my
say
my
one bag
my
of
Oga
rice.
just
Somebody posted one
he said,
new person say one bag of rice is now 50K somewhere.
really? I've not eaten today. They should point me to it. I'll use the remaining balance in my account to buy it. In any case, well, I just gave an handshake to Mr. President a few hours ago. He just left
Oh, you are
for
part
for
of
a
the
leave.
people that they line up.
I was beside the Imo State governor. Wait, what I want to ask you too, though, do these people travel from their states
I was
per
gonna
summon when
say,
this guy is
you know,
going
it'd
out?
be like say we won't play football match. We can't line up at the beginning of the match. Go shake,
No, no.
go shake
Tudo, what
hand.
I'm asking you is, do they leave their states per demand or per summon that Mr. President is jetting out, fly to Abuja now for an handshake? Is that what they do?
It's possible. I don't have that information. I think somebody on the inside might need to give us that information. But I think maybe that is part of the handler's job is to line up those people. Some of them go on the same flight with the president, from what we hear, and so as you line up there, you go back on the flight or another flight, and then you reconnect. But I wouldn't put it past them to say that the handlers might call up and say, okay, you, now you go there, now you today, now you go. I don't think Tinubu worries every day about who is. I think it's when he gets there, he realizes the people that are lining up.
Yeah,
That
but
I
Tudo,
think
the bottom line is this is we are using taxpayers' money to put
ah,
those people, fly those
I've
people
read
to
that.
wherever it is, and I knew he was gonna
That
go
train
out
has
because
left the
when he
station since taxpayers' money, Guinea.
yeah, so I knew he was going to
Boss,
get
it's their
his.
money. Oh.
I knew he was going. He needed service when he started throwing numbers about dollars, not knowing what dollar was when he took over. So I knew he was due for service.
Oh God, man! Look at what we are using to describe the president of 230 million people. 234 is in trouble. 234 is in trouble. Yeah. Well, Tudo, let me just
Yeah,
say
sorry,
this
before you
really quick.
continue, I heard Tinubu use that same number, 230 million. So that's our official number, right? Population.
Yes, officially.
Okay, so as from today, all of you should stop saying 200 million, 220 million, all these. Just stay with 230 because now the president has said 230 million and there's no census.
Exactly.
There's no official census to back
Exactly.
it up. But since he has said it, everybody as from today, let's start using 230 million.
The carelessness of the people in government and their extravagant tongue. When last did we carry out census in this country before a man will come publicly to
2006.
speak? Wow. Is the minority report that we are skipping. For example, one of those minority reports is the current constitutional review that is going on in this country. And many of us are unaware of it. They were in Southeast yesterday, to meet with stakeholders. And I asked myself, and I want to ask everybody on this space, is that the priority right now? Is constitutional isolate? Because what they are doing is to pick these sections. They isolate these sections and they pick them for review. That's not even my problem. My problem is that the priority? Is constitutional review the solution to the problem we have currently in the midst of all of this Tinubu economics? Tinubunomics is what you call it too. You have coined another one. Tinubunomics. Oh my goodness. So I'm asking if that's the priority, even if they attempt it, how is an isolated sectional constitutional review change the problem of our effect or arrest our marginalization problem, affect our poverty problem, change, our economic problem. But then here is what I feel they are doing. Look, for example, starting with the INEC review that I don't know how sure, Tudo, how sure is this thing? Let me confirm from you today. Have you been able to confirm it that Nigerians will be going to the ballot with a slip, possibly those that cannot get their cards? I'm hearing that this review is going on. Tudo, have you heard of it?
Yeah. You're talking about the National Assembly Constitutional Review, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's the basics. So from what I know of it, they have picked a few points um in the whole ongoing conversation about structural reform, constitutional reform, and so they picked things like state police. They picked what else? Just a few points, just bullet points. And Tinubu talked about state police too recently. So maybe we might be seeing that sooner than later. But yeah, just the same old shit. Nothing too special about it from what I know, from what I read. Yeah.
Tudo, do you remember that we had a constitutional review? I can't remember the year right now, but when I remind you of an event that was very conspicuous that time, you will remember the year. We had the constitutional review that Remi Tinubu locked people out of the door from gaining entrance into the review hall. Do you remember? Tudo.
I ah are you talking about the 20? What is it? What year was that again? Are you talking about the Jonathan
It was under
under
Buhari.
Buhari? Did
I can't remember
did
the
we
year,
have a constitutional review
but there
under
was a
Buhari?
constitutional review.
I don't know that Buhari had a constitutional review. Did he? Because I know the last one we had was the confab under Jonathan, and then the recent.
Oh, we had a review after the confab,
Oh yeah.
after our Rosso. Yeah, we
Oh
had.
okay.
So what ended that review? I don't know. I don't know what they changed in the constitution. But here is my take too, though, as I yield the mic back to you, because I'm not even caught up for plenty talks anymore with regards to what Tinubu is doing. Over since 2 years benchmark of his governance, and they have been forced to reel out data of their achievements. It's been one lie to another, and it's one too many. I'm tired of the lies, sincerely. As we are right now, we can't even track the real data and the real placement of our economy. We don't even know where we are right now because they have distorted information, they have blurred the lines, and as it were, if this their lies frequent, because that's what they did in Lagos, they frequent the lies, the propaganda, and in Lagos right now, you don't even know which is the truth anymore. You can't tell what's the truth, and you can't tell what's not. In Lagos, for over many years, the books of government had not been open to anybody, not even external forensic auditors, for since Tinubu that I remember. So, it, as it were, Tudor, all of this calamity, to stop it, rest on the shoulder of Nigerians. Coalition is quiet. In fact, I was just talking about it this morning when we opened that short space that we had this morning. The coalition is so quiet right now, and the quiet is sponsored by the announcement of Atiku to vie for the president of this country. I don't know if I'm wrong with my timeline, but that's when I noticed that the coalition went numb. Even Abdullahi Bolaji, that used to come every Eke Market day to release information, had gone to rest, figuratively, not not the other way. So what we are having right now is that the opposition completely confused. Is that the government that we have completely peculiar, not your regular politicians. That's why that guy will come out and SSA to the president will say Tinubu is not Jonathan, whatever that means. But then they can put all of these things to our faces
That guy is an
because they are
SSA.
still having Dio now. Dio. He said it.
Is it Dio or Dikbo? Ogbeni Dikbo.
Was it people that said it or
I
Dio?
think it was Ogbeni Dikbo. The guy in
Oh, okay.
the UK.
My bad.
Yeah.
My
Okay,
bad.
okay, sure.
My bad. But I did what I'm saying is that all of these things that is shown at our faces, it's because they are still having yours truly day. It's because they are still so lucky to be leading Nigerians that are docile currently. Forget what we are doing on this space currently, Tudo. Apology to everybody on the space, but we are still acting very docile. We are not responding in kind. If we are responding in kind, they would have a rethink before they come up with another lie, before they come up with another burden of tasks. But because Nigerians are not reacting, this information that I've just gotten about a 5% VAT increase on oil, on fossils, Nigerians are quiet about it. And January 1st, 2026 will come and we'll embrace it. Nigerians will adjust, and that will be it. We keep talking ourselves into the wall as if there is no limit to how far we can go in the war. Well, I tell us, congratulations, Nigerians, because if this man consolidates power in 2027, I'm not trying to frighten you, but I'm giving you reality. Come live in Lagos and see how Agbero is more powerful than the DPO of police. What maybe you're already experiencing it in Abuja right now, where Agberos are causing accidents. That's just the tip of the iceberg. What you will experience should this man consolidate power will be worse than what we are currently experiencing. I know who we have. I know the gangster from Lagos that we have there. And I know it will stop at nothing to consolidate that power, especially if Nigeria remain docile. I give the mic to you, Tudo. I just wanted to admonish us.
All right, Tudo. I don't chop finish. I don't get strength now.
Nice one. All right. Hey, hang on before you go to Bena.
All
Yeah.
right.
So, Jagun. Yeah, I was looking up. I'm like, did I miss something? I was looking up Buhari's attempt at any kind of national confab, and I didn't see. Um, I know he frowned at the idea at the time when people called for it. He did say that only the National Assembly has the power to reform or organize any kind of reform constitutionally. And maybe at best, it was also recommended. In fact, Oshibajo came out, his spokesperson came out at the time and announced that Buhari is adopting 2 points from the 2014 Jonathan confab recommendations. So, anyways, that's besides the point. The 5% fossil fuel tax, um, it's just another. And don't buy the bullshit that some of these their spinheads and talking heads are selling. Um, you know, it's kind of like the whole I made the dollar at 1,900 per to a dollar. Some have come out now to spin and say, okay, it's uh it's actually right if you factor in uh subsidies that the government was paying as they're doing right now um, to stabilize the naira. So what the agents of the government are going out there, some of them, not all of them, because these guys, kind of like the last time we had the one of them here. Every time we provide some fact that clearly this guy didn't know about, he goes on Google to check, and once he realizes that we are right, before he unmutes to speak again, he quickly generates a narrative.
on what he just discovered. So when you say that Tinubu is right by saying he met the naira at 1,900 to a dollar, because previous administration was already subsidizing the naira, which is something they are now doing. It doesn't make any sense, right? Because at 1,900, naira to the dollar, in reality, if that was what you met in reality, then you have to factor in the difference because it was 460 or so. So that difference is not sustainable. If that was actually what the government was doing, if you look at how much money they have to print to sustain that, we know Buhari printed a lot, trillions with Emefiele. And more importantly, the revenue component of that subsidy is not even, it's not consistent with reality. At a time where uh, crude oil, right, was at one of the lowest, 30 something dollars a barrel, thereabout. So if you look at the facts at the time, it does not support the idea of saying, to support what the argument that the Tinubu is making, that 1900 to a dollar. It doesn't make any sense. So it's just another attempt to spin whatever the president is selling, which is a lie. And I have debunked that on the space. The idea that we have paid we have generated in terms of revenue for the year, it's a lie. We haven't. The fact that we are not getting no more domestic debt from banks and all of that is a lie, because we are still generating, we still have debts that we're incurring domestically from all the government bonds, all the treasury bills, sukuk bonds, all these other things. So there was nothing the president said in that meeting with those CPC guys that is consistent with reality. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. So there's no way to spin it. As it stands, the government is still borrowing domestically. Half of our total debt, about 150 trillion, is domestic debt. As it stands, um, the government is far from meeting its revenue projection for the year, 41 trillion. So the 15 trillion, I talked about this for those who are earlier on the space, that he talked about, that number sector, it's not it's not a reflection of how far we are coming towards the revenue projection. The revenue, we're still far away. We're 13 trillion dollars, 13 trillion naira shortage in terms of debt shortage, and then we have 14 trillion debt servicing. So you factor in all these things, we are still far away. But from the service sector, which I've also talked about, is primarily from tax. So the government is going to town with its tax police, and they are standing. And remember when Tinubu said, just widen the tax net, widen the tax net, and rein in all the money. That's exactly what they are trying to. That's exactly what they are trying to accomplish. So that is the point here. But for the 5% fossil fuel tax that is coming, the lie they are going to tell you is that it is a part of their climate change, uh, whatever. They want to promote cleaner
The
energy.
climate change is even a propaganda.
Yeah, as if that is the next thing we should be worried about. So they will say that they want to model other countries who are doing this because. So let's speak objectively for a second. The reason you want to impose any form of fossil fuel tax, guys, all around the world, is to gradually shift from dependence on fossil fuel, right? Crude oil and all the other component products. So you want to reduce dependence. So by the time you tax the shit out of the people, maybe they will think twice about driving cars, right? Maybe before they pump that fuel, they will, all right, is there another way I can transport myself
Tudo,
without
even
driving?
let's assume that's the objective.
Yeah,
What are the alternatives
that they are
that we have?
provided. There you go.
Yeah.
That I was coming to that. So societies where these have been implemented. See, this is the confusion about the Nigerian state. Societies where these have been implemented, they are not stupid. It's like the removal of subsidy argument I have been making. There are countries, and I use OPEC for a reason, because that is the exclusive club that Nigeria belongs to, you know, and these guys, they've also mauled the idea of removing subsidy, and for the optimist time, nobody goes to yank it off cold turkey, because the shock is going to impose on your economy, and by extension, the lives of your people. So you are very careful how you implement this. I always use Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, what they have done, because the prince is trying to shift, he's trying to do all of these things too. He has inherited a kingdom that is heavily dependent on oil, but my goodness, this guy is investing heavily in the future, right? So, but they are increasing gradually the pump price of petrol, not yanking it off. It's still there, but as you're doing that, you're providing a cushion. That way, even as I'm paying that small, tiny increase in price, I'm not even feeling it, because the government on its part is doing something. And in terms of building infrastructures that will maybe inspire me, for instance, um, for those who live in countries where electric cars are a thing, right? Now, one of the arguments the government will make is to say, how much do you spend per month on buying gasoline or fuel? How much do you spend? And how much per kilowatt are you going to spend per kilowatt hour? Are you going to spend in charging your Tesla or any other brand of electric vehicle that you drive? So you do a price analysis. You compare. Okay, I'm spending this much, and many people charge from home. All right, where there are no charging stations, you can charge from home. So you park your car in the garage, you can charge it from home, and depending on how many kilometers you're going to drive, so you can calculate in a month and say, okay, this is just my driving cycle. I go to work, I do other things, all my driving in a month. This is how many kilometers I cover, and this is how much I spend in charging down my Tesla or whatever brand you're driving. And then you come to the other side and say, the same number of kilometers that you drive every month, this is how much I spend on gas. And then you compare. The government in those countries, they are incentivizing people to actually drive electric cars. There are government programs that are incentivizing you to actually drive because they give you, for instance, they give you deals on those electric cars. There are places where you go if you want to, for they compare the general market price of the car, and then you say, okay, if you come in, here is a government program that actually subsidizes the price of the car itself. They are doing different things, they're giving you ideas on renewable energy sources, sorry, subsidies on renewable energy sources, and they are trying everything to shift people away. What they are not doing is what Nigeria is doing, which is to just arbitrarily, because in Nigeria, we're used to FIAT. We are used to military style of things, which is why you will yank off subsidy without any consideration for the impact on the lives of the people. And which is why you go and impose a 5% tax without thinking, first of all, these people cannot even afford fuel as it stands. Secondly, what other alternative sources? Where are the railway lines, networks you built? Where are the very effective public transportation system that you have built that we can say, okay, they are trustworthy? Maybe I don't even really need to drive my car. Maybe I don't need to. Maybe I can just park the car because there are networks, transport networks that they built that are effective. You've not done that. Or you just want to sit in those rooms, you come up with these ideas, and then you slap it on the people on top of the previous suffering that people are already experiencing. That's not how you run a country. But you don't care because as people are crying, you are junketing all around the world and France and these other places. Anyways, I just wanted to explain that. Let's continue the conversation, guys. Tobena, go ahead.
All right. One more to do. Nice one, man. Big ups to that. As you mentioned, you are very clear about what you do. You're a political economist, and you always do it. You nail the point. You give the numbers and statistics. Jagu Jagu comes in and supports. That's very good. Now striker, it be 10. Now striker you be. I see the game. So here's the thing, right? Every time I come up with spaces, I listen. I do a lot of listening. Sometimes I try to speak, but I just listen more again. What I realize is that everybody has a complaint or one or two. It will never make sense. There's always a challenge or an issue. And I always ask myself, I've not hopped on any space except for like an APC space. Maybe they're trying to deceive themselves, something like that. But any like legit space, ADC, they're talking, it's complain, complain, complain. These things will never make sense to us. I'm also trying to link this up with partly the reason why they will not want someone like Peter Obi. Here's the truth, right? Here's the reality. These guys have checked Peter Obi and realized that this dude that we're about to make the president has not stolen any money. He has no like chase on him. How are we going to do that? He's too clean for the job. Don't you understand? Like, this is the man that can convert Nigeria to an actual country, and they are aware of it. See, we are going to reap the benefits. It will look like Nigeria is a continent. I promise you. They are aware of this because they looked at it statistics and knowing that this guy has not, he doesn't hasn't stolen money. He hasn't taken anything, nothing. His records are clean. They checked it over and over. So that's why it's even difficult for the ADC to even give it to him. They're still playing games. If you check how Tinubu got into APC, the primaries, check how he flawlessly damaged everyone in that primaries. It's no joke. They were aware of it. You have to look at that. Flawless victory. And he got the ticket and bam, it was quick. But now they have gone to go and check. They've checked him out. All the big names, they checked him out and they're like, nah, man, we can't. It's going to be tough because he's going to convert Nigeria to a country. That is just the truth. He's Look at his record in Anambra State. When he came in, first thing he just did was took care of the primary things. Primary first before secondary. What do the people need? Basic things. That's what he's going to do. He's going to elaborate it, spread it all the 36 states. The basic things they need of life for life. There was something Seeking was saying. He was talking about, he was saying, we should stop blaming foreigners, foreign powers and stuff like that, and we should hold the government accountable. But here's the thing. Do you know that these guys actually do the basic things for themselves? But you have to ask yourself, for who? Aisha said, there is no Nigerian more Nigerian than any Nigerian. Listen to that quote very well. So, which means something like that was already going on. So, here's the catch: the real Nigerians are government officials, top government officials, past and present. They get everything that we are meant to get as people. They get the basic health insurance, they have that, all that, they have it. Them and the private sector, the very rich, wealthy private sector. You know what I'm saying? They are the real, they get the benefits. You understand what I'm saying? The government officials, right? This is very simple, right? They don't pay for security. They have policemen attached to them. Those same policemen that were saying that we see them on the road, they're meant to be our friends. Then go the big person. But when the government officials, they are guarding them with their life. Dude, they are protecting these VIP members with their life. How much are they paying them? Do you understand what I'm saying? So Nigeria does the basics, but you just have to ask yourself: are you a Nigerian? Are we a Nigerian? Do you understand what I'm saying? The real Nigerians, they benefit. You don't hear them complain. You don't. I mean, there's some people that don't complain. You'll be wondering whether you are in the same country with this. I mean, no. It's because as we did, the masses, we know they don't count us. We're not among the statistics. They looked at Peter Obi. Peter Obi is actually a Nigerian because he has been a government official, even top. He's been a governor for 2 terms. They checked him out and saw that this guy, his record is clean. They can't put him in this position. It's going to be hard because he's that clean. So that's why he's even having challenges, even a coalition that think they are scratching their head like they don't know. No, they know. But here's the problem. If they put him in, he's going to now make the country, he's going to amalgamate the country from a colony to a country. Quote me anywhere. I'm telling you this here and live. Go and think about it. You will see what I'm saying. Go and check what a colony is and come back to me. We'll have a discussion. You understand what I'm saying? Just go check it out. We'll have a discussion. So this thing, so when we say Peter will be or nothing, you don't under you I think I kid you not, you might not understand. You might think he's talking, oh, he's Igbo or he's no, it's beyond that. What's the only thing we own in Nigeria right now, the only thing Nigerians own, the people, not even the real Nigerians, just Nigerians, just like foreigners. Because at the end of the day, when police is beating you and not trying to listen to you, it's beating you like a thief. It's, you have not even found out whether you're a thief. So why they hit me like that? Now because my father no be governor. Do you understand? If my father was governor now, you go fit hit me like that. No, I become a human being to you. Why? What's the difference? You see, so you have to understand how this guy, this policeman, they see you as. You're not any government official, you are not rich. So who are you? That's why they ask you, who are you? This it's been going on for a long time. So the right man for the job is Peter. If he comes in, he's going to change a lot of things. He's showing it already with his private money. He's doing it, moving around, touching lives. Imagine you give him the power. He now has that federal mind. Imagine what this man will do. When I tell people this, I'm not a political economist. The truth about the matter is Tudo is doing his job, nailing it. He nails it on the spot. If the government tells you whatever they tell you or write it out, he goes, checks it up, does his research. There's something here. This is shady. And he tells all the, he opens his face and he tells you, man, these guys are lying to you. This is it. And he's calling numbers. So he knows his shit. That's what I'm saying, you know. He's calling numbers, so he knows what he's saying. You understand what I'm saying? So Peter or nothing is not a joke. Brothers and sisters, it's not a joke. You will be proud to be a Nigerian anywhere. Let's just be honest. Because the guy knows, he's been around. This guy that came to what? How many places that Atiku been to? It's at the enter village, inside. Waka here, Waka, his nose. You know what I'm saying? He knows what he's going to do. Before he gets in there, he's probably reached out to people that he trusts because he's a leader. So he'll be able to see who he can trust. Right? You come, you know, you pick form up committees and things will start changing. You will feel the change. Not that you'll be hearing of it. Every time and statistics you will hear, they will give us this. But it's not that, you know, 2 plus 2 supposed to give you 4 now. Globally, that is what we know. 2 plus 2 supposed to give you 4. 2 plus 2, they give you 2. How? You go ask question, how? You know what I'm saying? So if they're giving us statistics online, like, oh, this one has gone up, that one, we've done this. Is it reflecting in your lives? That's the question. If it's not reflecting in your life, then I lie. Then the lie give you. Your life supposed to be testimony. People go they ask, what is your evidence? I tell them your life is your evidence. Your life is your evidence. That's why I tell people when they ask me, you think your evidence, go bring proof. You're asking me for proof. Look at your condition and you're asking me for proof. You are whining yourself, my brother. That's why I tell them. So we have to understand that this thing is not a joke. According to what Jagunjagun said, 2027, he told you right now that Alaye Demo and Pat DPO. Why? How? You have to say, boy, it will not make sense. Let's not even go there. Let's not even go into that. That's not what we're talking about. So when we talk about this collision, you have to tell people that, see, listen, if we continue this route, see, there was something someone said one time, right? He said, basically, poor people like normally, they just want shit, eat, drink, and have sex. That's what the guy said. I had it on his piece. He said that that's what they just want to do, which is fine. Everything they want to do with your life, okay. I mean, I'll just subsidize things for you and have you being able to do that, fine. But when you start taking those things, say they make life more difficult for them to do. You can't control what they do after a while. Because now I said, the small thing where they supposed to use the see front, you are taking it from them. You are making life more difficult. You see what I'm saying? So when I say Peter will be or nothing, or when we say Peter will be or nothing, obedience worldwide is a no joke. We really need to let these people know that we want to, as this young, as we dey like this, we want to see we want to hear of it. We don't want to hear of it, we want to see change. You understand what I'm saying? When you see your neighbors, you see their life changing, you go say, yes, yes, that is the change we're talking about. You understand? That's the change, not the one that we tell you. Will hear big talk online. Just somebody will just type one quick thing. Yeah, this, that is. Pay, person will give speech. Pay, everybody will believe. Believe one thing. Your life is the same. Even going down, you go hear say things where you dey get before now this now. You could vex. But you won't tell yourself, say, man, I be strong guy. I think I just smile. No, bro. You time go reach. You have to. We have to know what we are doing coming 2027. I don't want to say more than this, but I hear the mic and I'm just going to go back to the listening section. Tudo, thank you once again. Peace.
Thank you very much, brother, and thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it. All right. Let us continue the conversation real quick. Vazniuk. Vazniuk, are you there? Okay, Vazniuk is not there. Let's go to Chuka, this guy. Should I even give you the mic? You're a troublesome child. Anyway, shall I go like that? Make I hear.
Thank you too, though. I even thought I was banned from your space. Instead, make I even press button and see what's going to happen. But as God has ordained it, I've been blessed to be back into those space. let me not troll you. No, I think I'm not gonna be here to argue. I'm actually here to agree with you. I think um, I just everything everyone's been saying has been 100% spot on. I just think Tinubu is really stupid. And one thing I really hate that people do is they try to make him seem intellectual. Like I was in a space when they were talking about the whole exchange rate thing, and people were literally trying to make the argument that Tinubu was talking about. Oh, he meant standard deviation, or he meant like a moving average. He didn't mean. I was like, no, he just is stupid. There is no politician in the world I would like that much that I would be excusing him the way that they excuse Tinubu. The guy's a dunce. He's not really that intellectual. I mean, the idea, and I just love how some of you guys brought up about the West, how like this idea that we have to listen to America and do everything that America tells us to do, or the IMF, which is basically America, is ridiculous. So why are we free floating our currency? Why do we give a fuck about having the true value of our currency? I don't get it. For foreign companies, we have 200 million Nigerians in this country, but we're worried about foreigners who, at the end of doing their business, they will take that profit out of the country.
Because without doing it,
It's retarded.
choose
Oh,
without doing
sorry.
it, you don't get the loans. It's that simple.
No, you're not killing me. It is this, like, okay, take away fuel subsidy, which I don't think we should have taken away. But take it away, fine. That money should have been channeled right back into the naira. So instead of us, like at the end of Goodluck Jonathan's tenure, we're at 150. We should be at like 50 now, right? Because what happened to all of those billions of dollars that we were spending on fuel subsidy? I don't see shit. What happened to it? So you're gonna take fuel subsidy away, so that now you need 100,000 naira to fill up your car, and now you're taking subsidy away from the naira. So that means that we're literally allowing our currency to free fall. Why? How? And then we're gonna tax them. I'm sorry, like there has to be some kind of foreign play involved in this because this is like Down syndrome level retarded. Why would you want to destroy your society like that? Why? Because the IMF told you, some white people told you that, oh, we need to know the true value so that foreign investors can come in and invest. Who gives a fuck about foreign investors? You think China gives a fuck about foreign investors? You think India cares? Go try and invest in India. It's very difficult. They'll put you through red tape. They don't put their own people through because they have a billion people to feed. But idiots here will be arguing. And the thing about these Tinubu support, they will argue you. You will prove one point, they will go, come back, prove. It's like, what kind of godlike worship am I even seeing here? Shit, these guys don't left their own religion. Now they worship Tinubu now. I mean, this is crazy. It's mind-boggling. And this guy had the effrontery to go on national television and say something so obviously wrong. And when people try to correct these people, they argue with you. It's crazy. It's crazy. Look, listen, Tudo. It doesn't matter how my opinion on OB or nothing. It doesn't matter about it. One thing I will not do is tell you to stop. Or one thing I will not say is I don't understand why you do it. I understand, dude. Anybody that's in this coalition that doesn't understand why people are doing OB or nothing, you're a liar. I get it. We are in shambles as a country,
So
for crying out
are you a
loud.
convert? Are you a believer now?
After yesterday, when he said 1.9, I'm on that border. Because Atiku is old. I'm just stuck to do. I.
Chuka, you have
Tudo,
seen the
give me
light.
my flowers now.
Chuka, you have seen the light. That's not the word, bro.
Chuka,
It's
give
a
me my
good
flowers.
one.
No, no,
I
give me
love
my
it when
flowers
people see the
now.
light. I'm telling
Eh?
you, bro. I'm telling you. It's welcome,
You
Eh?
Chuka.
cannot
Welcome,
argue
man.
that Tinubu. You
We
can.
we are
One thing I'll
getting
do,
there.
I
We are
will not
getting
lie
there.
to
You
myself.
are
I don't know.
welcome in the name
I
We are
of
getting there.
the
Tudo, we are winning.
I'm not
Lord.
gonna.
I tell
I'm
you,
not
stand
gonna
on the
lie
part
to
of the
You
truth.
are
myself. I'm
We are
welcome
not.
winning.
in
We are
the
getting
And this
there.
name
It's a
of
idea,
gradual
and I
the
want
process.
to
We are
push
getting
Lord.
there.
back to
So
this.
how many now? How many now? How many of them now? How many of them now?
We
One was
can
last week.
see all
Now Chuka.
over
The
We are
one was
getting
you.
there.
last week.
Welcome in the fold.
So,
Listen,
wait, Chooks, let me ask you. So, you are Mr. Coalition at some point in history of humanity.
I'm still with the coalition. I don't want Tinubu to be president. I'm
So,
still with
what's
coalition.
going on with your coalition? Are they still in existence? Have they gone under a rock somewhere?
That's why I'm even sitting here like, okay, because Atiku announced,
Can
that's
I
why we're
answer
not
you,
doing
Tudo?
anything. I thought the energy would keep on going. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know what's happening, if I'm being honest. It just seems like the energy kind
Can
of
I answer that
died.
question, Tudo?
I don't know. And
Oh,
and these people,
Chuka,
people that
Chuka,
think,
Chooks,
let
let
me
me,
Chooks,
answer for you now. Let
and
me
Chooks,
people
hold
answer
on.
for
that
you.
think,
Chooks, hold on. HA, you think you know the rock where they're hiding under?
they rock. Oh yeah. Oh God. I mean, I honestly, and you guys might call me delusional. I think that if Obi goes to primaries, he does have a big chance to win. I think that the quietness about Atiku is that he is old, man. The North even realizes that this guy's old. I don't think the whole North is supporting Atiku as well, because again, like you noted, it got quiet. Where's the energy? Is dead. Even in northern Nigeria, it's dead. It's like everyone's just like frozen. Maybe people are afraid to vote against Atiku in the primaries. I don't know.
But
Things are
Chuka,
happening though,
Chuka,
because this
wait.
silence is
Chuka,
deafening.
sorry.
It's deafening.
But we saw this. But we saw this for a very long time. We saw this thing. And we have been telling you guys, see, you always attack, always attack. But thank God that you have regained your sight. Because I believe you are blind before. So you are welcome. You should understand me. But Tudo, can I answer that question? I believe what we have been hammering on about this issue of Atiku not having a kind of no steez, to be honest with you. You should understand me, no steez. And after that, his declaration, everything just died
It's
down. Like,
crazy.
I believe that was what opened Shuka's eyes. I don't know, but I believe.
It-
And we have been on this for a very long time, telling you guys, see, Obi is the correction. Once Obi leave, everything scatter. You guys think maybe we are joking. Thank God, we are getting
So,
there,
sorry, AJ.
small, small.
Sorry, HA. Tudo, thank you. I've been able to get that date. I see that somebody provided that information. 2021 was the year for the review.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember. No, it was an engagement in Lagos. I remember that. I thought you were referring to like a national thing, like in Abuja. Like an
No, no,
actual.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, yeah. I of course I remember that story.
Let,
Thank
let me
you.
let me remind you, Tudo. What
Yeah,
what they did then was that all of the Southwest leaders held the Southwest Consultative Forum for that review. That's how they did it across the regions. I remember now.
yeah. Sure, sure. Thanks. All right, Chuka, try to wrap it up.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just wrap it up soon. I mean, we don't subsidize our currency. We don't subsidize anything. All the money, trillions, we don't even know where it's going. Tinubu is in his
Yeah, we are
90s.
actually we are actually
It's just
subsidizing. We are Chuka.
disgusting.
We are subsidizing our currency at the moment.
What?
Yeah. Otherwise, it will be in the toilet.
Tinubu is at 115,
Yeah. The reason it's
at
staying there is because
1500.
the reason it's staying there is because we are subsidizing. Otherwise, it will be in the toilet, which is against what the government has announced. Subsidy is gone. No, subsidy did not go anywhere, whether on fuel or on the naira. So what we have now, I've explained this before. What we have is what you could call, and this is not just my opinion, economic experts in Nigeria as well, the likes of Bismarck Rouhani and all these other guys. What we have now is what they call a managed float. So in simple economic terms, right? You come out and swinging and say subsidy is gone, whatever, and we want to harmonize our FX regime. So no more dual regimes, official rates, black market rates. I mean, first of all, for that, in practical terms, everybody knows that you can collect money dollar from the bank at a certain rate and go to Bureau de Jean people, and you will get a different rate. Everybody knows that. Number two, and the reason they announced that is to say, okay, we don't want people just trading the naira without doing anything, which is what you can call carry trade or arbitrage. So you don't need to do anything. Just go and collect an official rate and go and sell it to Malam, and then you get profit from the difference, right? All of that is not gone anywhere, and the subsidy that they were lambasting previous administrations for to sustain the naira, they are now doing it because they realize that there is nothing to back up their announcement of the float. You are going to be, and Peter Obi has made that argument eloquently. You are floating the naira on what exactly? On what exactly are you floating it on? Right? The naira has no support in terms of to expose it to the gyrations of global markets because we are in an increasingly global economy. The days of us by ourselves doing things by the moment you start exporting and importing, now you've exposed your yash to the forces that control the global market economy. So you can't sustain a float if you are Nigeria because you have nothing to sustain it on. So the moment they realize that, my goodness, what did you just do? So you step in again and just it's like you are bleeding, you are hemorrhaging. So to before you even solve the problem, you stop the bleeding, which is what they do. Q1 of 2025 alone, $4.7 billion was spent on stabilizing the naira. Imagine that. So if you remove that subsidy, only heaven knows where our naira will be to the
I'm
dollar or the
pissed.
basket of currencies.
I'm pissed
Yeah, I
off.
just want to say that. All right, continue.
I'm pissed. So we spent $5 billion and the exchange rate is 1 to. Oh, Jesus Christ. And I'm gonna land with this, right? We need a leader that cares about Nigeria. We need a leader that isn't looking to retire in America or in the West, isn't looking to collect visa. We need a leader that's like, I want to fix Nigeria because this is where I'm going to live. Not that I'm going to do whatever the West wants me to do. And then after, I can just go hop on a plane and go to Paris or London or UK and retire with my family. I'm in Houston. I see all of these former judges and all these people buying homes in Richmond and Katy. I see them. My dad sees them. I'm just like, these guys are pathetic. We need someone that cares because this shit is killing people. Are cowardice, coward politicians that are afraid of saying, no, America, no, IMF. We're actually going to just do this because this actually helps our people. Look at the Chinese. Look at they get lambasted in the media every day, every day, every day. After the 100 years of shame in China, you don't think their currency was worth 5 million to $1? They subsidized the shit out of it. They didn't care. They said we have 1 billion people that will die if we free float it. We don't have the industrial capacity. We can't do it. But now everybody thinks we're American. See, that's why I love what Tudo said. He said something, get that military first, print your own currency, do this or that before you start copying what America told you to copy. Wear your cloth according to your size. Understand who you are. Every day people are dying, suffering, struggling. And we have leaders that don't care. They think the whole Nigeria is Lagos. They think the whole Nigeria is Ikoyi or Banana Island or Orange Island or whichever island they're going to build again. It's sickening. I can't believe what you just told me. So they destroyed the Naira, destroyed all of our purchasing power, destroyed our GDP, and they're still subsidizing. What are they subsidizing? Just let the whole thing drop to 5 million so we can turn it to Zimbabwe. I mean, for crying out loud, just drop it. But if you're gonna spend money, at least spend money so that the currency is where it needs to be, which I believe should be around 100, so that we can breathe. Because even when PDP was doing that bullshit 100, 150, it was still hard. So I don't know, man. Listen, man.
Yeah.
I'm for Nigeria. Please, we need to fix it, and we need to stop lying to ourselves, and we need to stop accepting lies. People lie
Yeah.
boldly. Ah,
All right. Thank you. Before I go to Alpha, let me on the Tinubunomics side of our space. Guys, bear with me. I try to do this on Thursdays now. Um, and I try to do less of jargon, more like painting a picture, but we have to delve into the numbers. So, what is getting ready to happen to us as Nigerians in come 2026 from the tax perspective? The main aim we need to understand as Nigerians is that the whole idea is to boost revenue for the government. Don't listen to what Taiwo Yedele is saying. Um, it's just softening the blow. Tinubu has said it before. Widen the tax net. You know, so you are trying to increase government revenue, which we are already seeing playing out in this non-oil sector revenue that he was bragging about. Um, but he embellished the report because he was presenting it as the total revenue projection for the country as opposed to um, just just the non-oil sector. We are far away from the total revenue projection. We are very much far away. That said, so the 5% fossil fuel tax is gonna come. The 5% telecom service tax is gonna come. There will be another 0.5 levy on firms on their profit. Digital assets tax is coming in, and then the progressive income tax is coming in. So the only thing about that, I don't know if you can call that a good news, and it's progressive for a reason. So if you earn as less than 800K, um, you don't pay taxes. It's zero for your income. But anything 800K and above, you are paying up to 25%. Um, Again, the government will come and lie to you that it is to boost infrastructure, education, healthcare, which is I'm going to refer to PO's tweet in a second, because I want to make a broader argument from that perspective. Um, then that's the lie they're going to say. Okay, they say because we need to rake in these taxes so that we can provide all these other things, capex, and all these other government spending things. Um, Also, the main problem here is this: from an economic standpoint, I said this before. You have not built infrastructures to offset or augment um, the current situation in terms of, let's stay on transportation alone. So we are already in a highly inflationary environment. I think the consensus will put us around a little over 30% before the rebasing. So don't buy the lie of 21% that Wale Edun and the rest of them are putting out. All right. Um, in fact, some will argue that we are nearing hyperinflation, which is somewhere around 50%, depending on who you ask. Because the life of Nigeria, forget the numbers, just ask Nigerians. How do you measure inflation? Forget about the metrics and the indices. It's all about the people. So the impact of inflation is simply understood from the perspective of um, the microeconomics of the people. You are spending X amount on a basket of goods, commodities, services. And then the following year, it jumped up to another amount. Calculate that percentage increase. That is your inflation right there. It is that simple. It doesn't matter what lie the government tells. It doesn't matter. You are the one paying for the fuel. You are the one paying for transportation. If either you are as a consumer or as an employer, you are the one paying for all of these other things. So you can calculate your own inflation, regardless of what the government is selling, the snake oil they are selling. So here's the problem. In a highly inflationary environment, where you have the CBN that is fighting inflation, raising the MPR rate and all these other things that they're doing, and then you have the government imposing tax on consumer spending. So we already have a cost, what you call a cost push inflationary environment. Inflation that is basically fueled by the cost, rising cost. The cost of everything is going up. The cost of transportation, the cost of food. In fact, food inflation is a major component of our inflation. The cost of everything you can think of, your rent, your school fees for your children, everything, services that you pay for. On top of that, you now slam another, let's go with the 5% tax, fossil fuel. You now slam another 5%. So that is more cost to the consumer, to the average Nigerian, right? So that definitely is going to shoot up our inflation. You are not interested in driving down the inflation. Because if you were, you will not be slamming another 5%. So now Nigerians are already struggling to pay for rising costs, including fuel. You now say the best thing to do is to add more burden. Now Nigerians have to squeeze and cough out more. And so how does that help it's going to worsen living standards. It's going to worsen the inflation that is already there, and and by extension, it's going to erode further the purchasing power of the naira. What do you think the naira will be eventually? Guys, do you see the picture I'm painting? These people don't either they don't know what they are doing or they don't care. It's either of the two. Either they're not stupid, so they're actually intentional. They just don't care. They don't care.
To the apologies. Someone
No, no, no,
said this,
sure.
and I want to confirm on this space
Yeah.
that it is a thing of inconvenience and inevitable for them not to
Oh my
increase
gosh.
all of these tax because hold on, Tudo, because
No, no,
these
I'm
tax
I'm,
are
I'm
tied
listening.
to the borrowings. That's what I heard.
Sorry, what was the last thing about borrowing?
That these taxes, these new taxes every here and there, they are all tied to the borrowings that this guy have been going around to get.
Oh, you mean what was imposed as a prerequisite, as a requirement for the loans, for the lending from the lending
Yeah,
institutions,
someone
right?
argued it on my space yesterday that all of the increments that we are having are directly the payment for the loans. That
Oh, of
these
course.
taxes we are paying are
Oh, of course.
directly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that is the fact. So again, the argument that I think AK was talking about that and Chooks as well is, these guys, they're not Santa Claus. They're not Father Christmas. They're not just going to hand you the money and say, hey, yeah, Africa, you are poor. Here's a little thing for you. It's not tokenism. I mean, the rates are fairly low, but don't just get bogged down by the low rates alone. The main thing here is the economic reform they're imposing on you. That's where the thing is. Because, for instance, Chuka made the argument that you are doing it for them, but by extension, for the corporations that are doing business in Nigeria, it's for them too, right? It's for them too. These are the issues. So don't see it. The low rates is just like that. It's like a shiny object they're dangling, but there's something deeper going on. I always said it, guys. Don't go by the headline. Go under the hood. Go under the bonnet. The devil is in the details. The devil is in the details. All right. Finally, let me say this. What else was I going to say? That was another point I was going to make. Anyways, so guys, we are in deep shit. Long story short, we're in deep shit. Oh yeah, OBJ said something in the 70s that I wanted to. When you were saying what you were saying, it came to my mind. That um, economic reform, any government reform, must have a human face. I mean, he wasn't the one that originated it, but I think it's been credited to him. And he said that um, was it 70s or 80s? He said, I think it was in the 80s when IBB came up with all the structural adjustment programs and all these other things that we're doing. So the meaning of that statement is to say, finally, is to say that government programs, so-called reforms, are not the end in and of themselves. They are a means to an end. The real end and objective is about the impact it has on the lives of the people, right? So the government wants to get credit. Guys, the government wants to say, we are the ones that have the balls. We are the ones that are doing what needs to be done. Look at us. Look at all these policies we take. And so fucking what? Like, and so what? What is the point of your policies if people's lives are worsened, right? People, they're not getting reprieve for what you think, and you're saying, it's a necessary pain. Okay, let's even work with that argument. We're not the first to find ourselves in this environment where people have to suffer temporarily, but you can see the trajectory, you can see what the government is achieving. Except in our case, our government is not suffering with us. that is the difference. And we have a country where I like to be respectful, when I talk about Nigerians and our attitude. But I think a lot of people are saying the docility is sickening. Because in other countries by now, the whole country will have shut down. How can you be telling people to tighten their bootstraps, put themselves up by their bootstraps, and tighten their seatbelt and all these other things, and you are not doing the same? You, the government, you're not doing the same. That is the problem here. And again, do they see these things or they just don't care? So if you say we should tighten our seatbelt, we should endure, it's temporary, are you also enduring? Where are the pay cuts? Where is the fiscal responsibility? Where is the cost of governance? Every day is ballooning. They even have the audacity. The Revenue Mobilization and Allocation waiting commission. They said they want to increase their salaries. They want to increase because how can the government be earning 1 million? I'll be waiting how much the government earn officially 1.4 million. All right. So, anyways, guys, that is the bottom line. The kind of economics that we run, Tunubonomics, guys, is simply macro economics. Macro, as in the wider picture. not micro. They're not concerned with microeconomics as it affects the internal, the lives of the people. They're not interested. They just want the macro side of things to look good. They want the picture to look good. To who again? To the creditors, to the lenders. So you take the loans, you clear backlogs, you go back for more loans, right? So that you can improve your credit worthiness, so that you can take more loans and continue to take more loans. And then we know where all these loans are going. They're not going towards infrastructures, they're not going towards education, schools, healthcare, all these other things. No, we all know where they're going. So that is the situation we have found ourselves. All right, let me stop there for now. Alpha, welcome, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, Tudo, good evening. Yeah, good evening. Yeah, I greet everybody. It is my brother Jagun, so then Bassinet. I think we're exploring this Tinubunomics on Jagun Space yesterday, and it was exactly the same thing that we said, and I think a similar thing that I said. I think it's
Sorry,
deliberate.
is it only me? I can't hear Alpha.
Oh, he's speaking.
Can
He's
you?
speaking. We can hear
Okay,
him. Vasno, can you
thank
maybe
you
you
very
can
much.
drop and come back? I called you before
Thank you very
actually.
much.
All right, go ahead, Alpha.
Thank you very much. So I think it's deliberate. Um, and again, I think you explain it better. Maintain or pretend to maintain the credit worthiness so that you get more loans, and they don't mind, they don't care whatever happens. But anyway, for me, right, is it surprising? No, because one thing I know is that evil is actually addictive, and that is why, if you notice, and if you have looked at human behavior, you will notice that people who tend to practice certain evil, there's no limit to what they do in it. So men who have lived their life in this type of and that is the only way they have known to make their wealth. You do not expect them to do anything differently from what they are doing. And that is why I said to myself, I do not really pay attention, if not for engagements and other things. I actually do not really take my time to analyze what this government does in power, because you don't expect less. This is what exactly it's supposed to do. The only thing I am not happy about is that I know that this is what the consequences will be. I know that Nigerians are going to suffer it immensely, but I'm actually very surprised that Nigerians are not in any way reacting or resisting this nonsense. And that has been my disappointment and my biggest disappointment. Any other thing, I basically do not care about analyzing. They are not actually idiots per se, but they want to play the fool to actually fool the common Nigerians, because if they are idiots, their wealth will be get messing up. Is what will be messing up, but they are actually messing up the average Nigerian people, why they remain very rich. And if you look at it, what will be the consequence? And that is how it is going into the next election. What are we going to expect? You are going to see that vote buying is going to be very cheap, by far cheaper than it used to be, because whatever it be, even if they decide to buy with 10,000 naira, for example, which is far less of value than 2,000 naira or probably 3 years ago, right? You have a lot of people who are willing to actually do that. And again, they are deploying so many tactics. And this is a perpetual tactics, and I don't really know whether there's any end to it if we do not stand up and say, this government, you have to actually do otherwise, even before we eventually chase them out in 2027. Now, on the coalition, right? I think on this X, I am one of the people whom, whether the PDP people or even the obedience who believe in coalition, see as the biggest anti-coalition person. How do I care? I basically do not care. Do I want the coalition today? The ADC coalition, I do not care. Why do I not care? Because, like many of you have said, right, since Atiku declared, the momentum has died down. But again, I have nothing to tell any of them because the day PO came to Anambra State, right, he said that he's not telling anybody not to run for office. So Atiku also has a right to run. And if the people who believe in him should line up behind him, right? That is what I think. But will I be supporting him? No, I will not. And today, they may even consider uh, I'm, me to be more opposed to him than even Tinubu's government because I see him as an opportunity to give Tinubu a chance to actually do second term. That is the only thing I see him as because in any case that it happens that um, they manage to do what is in their mind, which is to stop Obi from running and present Atiku as the only opposition, is a guarantee for Tinubu's second term. And Tinubu, except there's another person that Nigerians decide to rally behind, Tinubu will beat him totally, and Tinubu will have the second tenor.
So you don't think
Me personally,
Article's run is a real thing?
I want Atiku being in the race, right? I think for me, personally, this is my conviction, and I'm very convinced about it, I'm ready to even if it goes to anything, I'm ready to even stake on it. I think Atiku will get the ADC ticket. I don't believe any other person stands a chance in getting the ticket there. It doesn't matter how they want to fool anybody, right? I gave example earlier today when I talk about the parable in the Bible, right? About the parable of the field, right? At ADC is like Atiku's field. Remember that parable when Jesus said that someone saw a field, right? A treasure in the field. He went and hid the treasure, went and sold everything he had, and bought the field. ADC is his field, right? Everything, every key to winning in ADC is in his hands. No other person stands a chance, right? The time I pondered and even gave the coalition a chance was when they were telling us that it is likely going to be zoned to the south, that there is pressure on Atiku not to run. I found that funny, but with with the way it was repeated, I kind of gave it a thought. But knowing that he's going to run actually destroys anything. I mean, many people come here, they argue about dollarization. Even if without $1, I mean, even if Atiku doesn't share $1 in the primaries, it will take a political miracle for anybody to beat him. Why am I saying this? It's just like saying you walk into NMPP and beat Kwankwaso. He owns the structure. Nobody should deceive you. We saw what happened in Labour Party. To take over Labour Party was nearly impossible because the people, the key holders, the gatekeepers, the key holders were there, and Tinubu was doing their bidding. Then you now want to go and defeat this guy when he builds. Look at who they make their national secretary, for example, Rauf Aregbesola. Atiku brought him into the coalition. Atiku was in his house. Women came out and they were singing. Tinubu has failed us. It's Atiku that we want. And you look at what happened the day Tanko went and said that if they deny PO the ticket in ADC is going to run. What did he do? It wasn't PO speaking, but he lashed out on PO that he cannot be moving from one political party to another. But what happened when Kenneth Okonkwo went on national TV to say that if you take another, Didn't Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola hear that one? None of them saw something bad about it. Now, why is it, even on this X, that it's only people who support Peter Obi that that are now in categories? There are obedience who support coalition. They are the ones who say who support coalition only when it favors Peter Obi. They are the ones who say, "Oh, we support Peter Obi as long as he stays in the coalition." So those ones, I don't even consider them Peter Obi supporters, because I don't know how you support a political party that is a dead political party. I mean, ADC is nothing different from YPP and what's it called, AAC. They are not in any way better, they're bigger or anything. They have no pathway. And these people who do not know anything will come out and tell you what is your pathway outside ADC. And I ask them also, what is ADC pathway to victory? ADC has no pathway to victory. I think in one of the spaces, I let them know this. And then many of them became ashamed of it. I said, ADC is just another political party, just like APC, just like PDP, just like anything you want to think about. And in today's Nigeria, they have nothing. They are not better than LP. LP has at least 7 senators and some other people. And then what's it called? PDP has some governors and all this thing. ADC got nothing outside Senator Kingibe. So that is not. I mean, you're telling me that is the pathway to victory. What happens in ADC that is a pathway to victory? Outside some old politicians who have no political party going there to vent. Now and today, people want to tie my support to Peter Obi to this nonsense political party. Of course, political parties have never been a yardstick for Nigeria deciding anything. And political party in Nigeria doesn't matter except you're in corridor of power. That's the only time it matters. And that explains why PDP has been destroyed and getting bad since they lost the powers in the federal government. And why APC has been getting so bad and getting so strong across Nigeria, because they have federal power. Then people will leave all this in and start looking at us as if we are not people who have sense. When you ask anybody who do you support, if the person says he supports Atiku, automatically is a pro coalition person. I have not seen any Atiku supporter whom they don't consider to be a pro coalition person. But when you support Obi, they will not. I mean, when you say you support Obi, they will now want to know whether you are obedient with open mind. Honestly, to be honest with you, I think that the ADC political party is destined to fail. I think they will lose the next election. I believe they have no pathway to victory. And I do not think that Peter Obi is going to run on that platform. I think he will run on another platform. And I believe that if we put in the right work for him, right, we need to actually put in the right work, the best work, do more than, because even the people in ADC coalition, they don't want his progress. Even if ADC calls him and say take the ticket, all the people you are seeing there don't want to work with him. They don't want him to be. I mean, we are not fools. Look at what El Rufai went on national TV to do the other day. To tell the whole world that Peter Obi is a liar, that nobody believes him, right? And this is the people who are supposed to be working with him to bring victory to the party. Imagine what will happen when you go on a campaign against APC and Peter B is the presidential candidate, and they are playing this thing that Erufai said about doing single tenor. Something that he said emphatically. And one of even his greatest and strongest selling point that is that, owing to the type of politics that is played in Nigeria. And one guy who was a terrible governor in Kaduna State, very divisive individual, who denigrates anybody that is not his people, came out to say that he's telling lies, that nobody believes it. Let us focus on what and what and what. And you see some people who say that Obi supporters supporting this type of person. And at the end of the day, you think you are building a coalition. Well, the truth of the matter is very simple, right? I think um, one thing that I believe, or I think PO didn't get right in everything he did in the party politics is this particular thing that, what was it called? Atiku did with ADC. He should have done it when Abure was messing up Labour Party instead of staying there and waiting for court orders. Yeah, Labour Party had the semblance of the party that you used to work and people, and due to the outlook, ideology, but we know in Nigeria, those things are not really practiced, right? Because they will tell you all members of NLC, all market women. Yeah, it's supposed to be, but that is not the reality. So I know that basically because of what we invested in Labour Party during the election was the reason that many of us didn't want to lose it to Ravenous Julius Abure. But again, I think we should have made the move earlier on and do similar thing to what Atiku did and call this coalition. Get a political party that is there and probably uh, settle off every other person that is there and take over the entire structure, especially knowing that INEC is not independent and having all his loyalists within the Labour Party who won the election come in there. If you have done that earlier on, is it late to do it now? I don't know. But I think that is what he should have done instead of going into talks with these people whom we know that they are basically the problem of Nigeria. All of them minus nobody there. And suddenly, we are supposed to begin to eulogize these people who ran the country of 8 years of Buhari. Suddenly, we are supposed to feel that they are okay. Suddenly, we are supposed to feel that it's okay to be around these people even when Peter Obi is not there. No, something is actually wrong. And the thing is this, right? I think it's okay that these people, because I mean, they are quick to remind us, oh, you did this, you did that. I mean, these people don't actually believe that we won the election in the last time. That's what I'm seeing. They don't believe that. And I think it's within their mindset to actually believe whatever they want to believe. Because if they do believe that, what you'll be looking at, you look at the loopholes and think about how to actually cover it. INEC is coming out with something new that no one actually understands. They talk about not voting with PVC. An idea that I like, to be honest with you, because the PVC is actually disenfranchising people. More than 10 million Nigerians who couldn't get their PVC couldn't vote in the last election, right? Some could vote, and now you have beavers and you have verification. So you should be able to vote with those VIN numbers. Although some were able to vote with VIN numbers, right? And the votes counted. But again, that's actually that's actually, but the thing is this: how about when they now choose to manipulate it and litigation, right? How do we deal with that? Because one of the things we used to benchmark what and what the number of people, the number of expected votes is the number of PVC collected. But again, to be honest with you, to reduce disenfranchisement, the PVC per se is not supposed to be sacrosanct. But again, everybody, I mean, it's a confused state because if it's an independent INEC who does not conduct the type of election they conduct, we would have said it's okay. But we do not know whether they're just doing it just to manipulate figures. And on the other one of voting wherever you are, right? They are not very clear on it. I may have not even read the details. But again, that would have also been, although I don't know how that will apply in staggered election like Anambra State election and what and how you vote. Do you just go to polling unit and vote? counted amongst those people, or do you vote and your vote is counted in your original constituency? I don't know how that is supposed to work. I think that the idea is seemingly okay and brilliant, but I don't. The problem is not trust the people doing it. That is me. But do not trust the people doing it, and especially the second one. I don't even understand how it's going to work, owing to the fact that we have staggered election. Can I be in a Delta state, for example, and Anambra state election is holding, and I will stay in Delta state and vote for Anambra state? Um, that or can I? So I don't basically understand it. So, but on the other hand, I think we should pay attention to how INEC manipulated the last election, and look at how we can make sure that every single vote we have counts. And moving forward, yeah, we'll make sure, because again, there's something that we are not looking at. Two things that could play. There were people who didn't believe Obi stands a chance in the last election, right? Who didn't turn out for him, who are now surprised, who now want to go all out for him now. We need to actually take advantage of those people, bring them together, galvanize their supports, and actually bring everybody to the table, right? And make sure that they win the election. They help us win the election. There are people who have never voted going to support. And there are also people who supported him in the last election, who felt that he was cheated, and for that the vote doesn't count. Although these people are somehow in the minority, some of them didn't actually vote, but when they saw that majority of people voted, and they still don't understand that there is a level of manipulation that you do where people are not very popular. So I meet them almost every day. They will be like, vote doesn't count. But when I interrogate them properly, I see that these people actually did not vote in the last election. But they will tell you that they know Obi won, but he was not given. So I think we have a
All
lot
right.
of work to actually, yeah, in 30 seconds.
All
We have
right.
a lot of work to actually do in these guys to make sure that we bring all these things together, and that is the coalition that me I'm actually looking at. Not these people who are just, I mean, their motive is very simple. Let nobody deceive you. Their motive is very simple. Their godfather, or their father, or the Dubai prince believes that Obi took away his votes. So he believes that if he's either able to bring him in the same platform, that the votes come back to him and he will be president. And I want to actually disappoint him. Even if, which I know it will not happen, it happens that Obi decides not to run and be in the same platform. That is a gateway to Tinubu's victory. I mean, Tinubu will so beat this man and destroy his political career totally. So I think he should be in his ADC, collect the presidential tickets, run. Any people that wants to vote in should vote in, while we continue to chart our course to see what Nigerians, because Nigerians who actually desire good government will not be looking at these people for good government. It doesn't make any sense. Now you're looking for a different government. You're looking for government that will change something. You're looking for government that is accountable. Those of us who talk about cutting the cost of government, those who talk about accountability, and you look at these people, the ministers under Buhari, and we bring all these people together and say they are the people that want to give us good government. This actually, it doesn't make any sense. And even in Nigeria, in southern Nigeria today, nobody believes that these people are going to do anything differently. And that is exactly the reason why they are not an option. Yeah, thank you, everybody.
All right.
Thank you, Tudo.
Thank
Even for
you,
your help.
Alpha. Um, thank you. Thank you very much. Let's move forward, guys. Um, so Vasnuk, you're next. The PDP has been in the news, by the way. I feel like they're even more. If we're talking about grabbing the headlines, I think PDP is even more like, okay. And ADC has kind of fizzled into, I wouldn't say oblivion yet. They are taking the back seat. So PDP is still in the headlines these days. They have an upcoming convention. Now, the Wike faction um, is also causing some ruckus. They have made some fresh demands, and they are saying they're going to disrupt the convention if their demands are not met. These are basically the G5 -1, and the -1 being Sheyi Makinde. So it's going to be interesting what PDP has cooking the days ahead. Do they actually have the balls to eject the likes of Wike?
Oh, Tudo,
Yeah.
please, can you give me 10 seconds, I beg?
So
Please,
to comment
I
on
want
that.
to, no, no, not on PDP, just want to make appeal, right? Please, the Anambra election that is up,
Okay.
both PO and many reasonable people who
Mm.
have decided that George Mogalu of the Labour Party is the candidate that we
Mm.
want to support. So every time you have someone from Anambra who lives in Anambra, just continuously reminding, right? Because
Yeah.
I've gone around and I'm taking this thing. People don't like Soludo, but they have not actually decided on who to pitch their tents with. And I think if we're able to do one or two, right?
Mm.
Soludo will be a one-term governor, and it will be a booster so that we actually stand a proper chance going forward. It's something we can do, right? There is no disadvantage in this particular thing. There is no negative campaign. The only thing it is that we have not done anything. That is the only thing that will give Soludo a victory, right?
Yeah.
Any other thing does not really count. The candidate is not from a zone that he says is zoning. It's not. It doesn't have baggages, right, and anything. So I think the only thing is if you did not put on the work.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think we have done enough. So if anybody just put in your little efforts,
Definitely.
remind your people from Anambra that we have an election to win. I'm from Anambra. I'm going to be voting in the election.
All right.
Personally, I'll be voting for George Morgan. Thank you, Tudu.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very
All
much.
right. There you have it. India Anambra. You guys heard. I trust the judgment of PO. I have always seen that race as a four horse race. What you call it? Soludo, Abga, Akachuku, um, APC, Ezenwa for PDP, and that guy is very confident. If you listen to him, Jude Ezenwa for, and of course George Mogalu, Labour. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But yes, I agree with you. I'm throwing my support behind. I can't vote there. I'm not from there. But if you are from Anambra or you can go vote, please. Yeah, George Mogalu is the man. All right. Um, let's move forward. Vazniuk, are you there? Oh,
Yeah, Tudo, yeah, I'm here.
one more thing for subsequent speakers. People are floating there. This flirting that is going on with PDP and PO. Some people have been talking about the idea of PO returning to PDP. Forget forget this the court ruling from Canada that they are terrorist they are a terrorist organization. Should PO walk into that situation, avoid it? What of labor? Anyways, I wanted to explore that as well. That's why I put the coalition thing there. Vasno, take it away. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, good evening, Tudo, and everybody here. It's been a busy day out here. It's been a cold day as well. I've been hearing a lot of the arguments on economics, on political maneuvering, Tinubu's traveling, uh, Tinubu explanation on carbon tax, fuel tax, whatever tax. Somebody just tweeted today now saying, oh, no, it's not a fuel tax. It's not a new tax. It's a tax that has been there. It's actually a road tax, oh, FEMA tax, blah, blah, blah. You know, it saddens me that despite the collective pain that a lot of us are going through in Nigeria today, where the best way to describe the situation is The former middle class, they are now the Uber drivers. They are not making a lot. Uber drive, ailing Agberos. You know, it's almost as if everybody took a step, 4 or 5 steps down. And in a situation like that, ask yourself, is this how the devil versus God thing work? That there will always be supporters for devil, no matter how hard you devilize the whole thing. Devil will always have a support or supporters. God will always have a support and support. Is that what this is about? Because I would think that with all the pain, collective pain, this is a collective pain, Tudo. This is not I pass my neighbor situation. No, this is a collective pain. You know, you'll be driving along the road, you see guys, young guys like us, they have this small jerry can. Fuel has finished on Ozumba. They are filling up with their small 5-liter mobile jerry can. You know, because they cannot afford fuel in their car anymore. It's a collective pain. You see people, there's no light, they don't on gen, they just stay in darkness. Collective pain, they cannot afford it. So if we are going through this pain and we still have a collective push to sugarcoat, to whitewash policies that are obviously draconian, policies that are obviously deliberately calculated to the wealthiest, for lack of a better word, to reduce wealth in the hands of Nigerian people. And you see people supporting and throwing in opinions. It just saddens me. When the structural adjustment program happened, led by Chief Olufalai, who was the then Minister of Finance at the time, under the IBB regime, back then, Falaye was all over the news, you know, saying all manner of things of how the structural adjustment was the best thing to happen to Nigeria. Oh, that structural adjustment. In fact, if we don't do it now, meaning at that time, if we don't do it now, Nigeria will just disappear, you know. Amidst all that in for disappeared. Amidst all that economic voodoonomics that was being introduced at that time. And we all know and we saw the consequence of the structural adjustment program. It aided corruption. It brought in the erosion of middle class. The naira took a huge fall. I mean, since that time, it's been downhill.
Vasniuk, are you there?
That is this. I mean, very few people understood the economics. Very few people had knowledge of what economics was about, what finance was about at that time.
Vasniuk, can you hear me? Yeah, I think you're having some issues there with your network. If you
Hello?
can hear me, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yes,
Okay,
yes.
continue. This is better. We
Sure.
can hear you now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Maybe the telecom tax is kicking in already. We don't hear you
Had
again. Are you there? All right, let's do this. Let's drop you and bring you back home. Yeah. All right, guys, let's continue. HA, quick one from you. HA Zona.
Yeah. Let
All right,
ambassador speak.
Ambassador, Alpha.
I to do. You won't pass me by.
No,
I've
no,
been
no
here
vex, no
for a
vex.
while.
Now
No,
you, now
Allah.
you the
No,
one, now you the one select to go and represent us in one of the embassies to represent Tinubu administration because now they are taking
If it's from
resumes. So
Tinubu's government, I will reject it.
they are taking resumes, so they need people
Eh.
to apply to the ambassadors. Yeah.
All right, my brother. Interesting conversation. I think I've been following, the speakers, but I have quick, what's it called, fact check that's always to make. I think there was a speaker. Is he Afro? Yes. It was when he was trying to give his submission. It said something about what's her name? This okay, Senator Eriti, being a ADC also. So she's in Labour Party, and I think there are other things you said. Although I understand your point of, Wait, I you mean, said your view of point.
Mm.
Said, wait, you said Ireti has not moved to ADC. Is
No.
that
No.
what
Oh,
you're
that was
saying?
okay.
Yeah, that was what he was saying now.
No, 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 no.
He has,
What did you
he
say?
has,
Did you say
he
that
has,
she? No, no,
he,
no. Let me get
he
your
has,
submission right.
he has left. He has
She
left.
has
He's the
left
only
Labour
person
and she has joined
Labour
ADC.
ADC, and she's
I
the
was
only
thinking.
elected
Okay, I
member.
get your point now. Okay, that's valid. I was thinking you were saying that she, she joined the Senate through the ABC uh, platform.
No, 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 no,
It's
no, no.
well noted. That's I just
How did that
I
happen?
needed to get that thing. All right, yeah,
No,
you're
no,
on
no,
point.
no,
You're
no.
on point. Thank you, my friend.
What I,
All
what
right,
I,
thank
what
you.
I, what I meant is that they don't have any person in government outside her because she's the only person in the government who have moved from all the
Sorry,
other people who
Afo,
have become.
Afo, on that
Yeah,
point, something came to my mind. On that point, correct me if I'm wrong. 2011, Jonathan cleared the Southwest without even having that on that point. How many governors did PDP have? Or am I
PDP didn't have a governor from Southwest in 2011. They had
exactly?
five
Except Osun
five
State.
AC.
He won everything
No,
except
no, no.
Osun State, right?
Oshun was also ACN. Rauf Arigbeshola,
Agbadaboshola, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ondo State was LP, right?
Mm-hmm.
The rest was ACN. So midway through, right, after the second tenor, because it's a staggered election,
Mm.
Mimiko was of Ondo State
Ondo State.
decided to
Mm-hmm.
join PDP. Then they did the election in Ekiti State. Fayemi lost. Then PDP regained the state. That is what was it called? Uh, Ekiti
Fayose.
State, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fayose. Yeah,
Mhm.
Fayose. So in the 2015, they had now had two, which is Ekiti and Ondo in PDP. Oyo was Makinde. He
Mm.
defeated APC later on, but APC was it was ACN all through
Yeah. Yeah.
with one Labour Party in
So you
2015.
don't
But
believe that, but the whole point of why I brought that up is you don't believe Atiku could pull it off even without having
the
governors
thing
and
is
whatever.
that he's not that type of politician. Now. Where exactly did Atiku win? In the last place where he didn't have governors or he didn't have people, strong men from that state working for him. Where exactly was that? Outside few places in Northeast. Where exactly did he win? Without, I mean, look at every single place he won. In Osun State, he has a governor. What's it called? Bayelsa State, he has all the political structure there in PDP. Akwa Ibom, the same thing. Then when you go to North, right, you find out that he even lost places like Kano State and wasn't even in top two, right? He lost Jigawa, he lost KB, he lost. In fact, why was he losing Northwest? It was because APC is in power there. So he's not that type of politician that can pull it without having people in power. He's not. He's a party politician thing. And that is why he's investing
and
everything in
and and
political
that is
parties.
why because and there's no support base, people led
Yeah,
movement, you
yeah.
know.
He doesn't have that.
So
He
that's why
doesn't
he
have
needs
that
to.
among
That's why he keeps trying to manipulate parties and trying to play all these
yeah,
games that he's been playing. Yeah,
yeah,
makes sense.
it's as simple as that. He's not that type of politician. So
All right,
he
great,
knows
great
that
point.
very well.
All
Yeah.
right, thank you. Ambassador, go ahead. Vasnuk, sorry, you continue. Continue from where you stop after Ambassador. Ambassador, continue.
Oh, all right, great. Let me be brief with my submission. I'll just
pick from where Apple stopped. I agree totally with him as regards his sentiment, about the ABC. I've always, shared the same sentiment. I think we have to be very careful with the ABC coalition. Saying that is no, I'm supporting, of course, I'm not supporting the current regime. The reason being that if you check the way the APC is structured as of today, of course, is in favor of article. That's for those of us that are politically inclined. You understand that is in is in his favor, and bringing Obi into the whole picture is not the fact that they know Obi can get the ticket. Of course, if it's going to be free and fair and credible, of course, Obi should get the party ticket. But we all know that money politics will always have its way. And when it comes to money politics, Obi does not share that ideology. He would not want to participate. If you follow the build up to the 2023 election, that's one of the reasons he left, of course, the PDP, because he knows that they're going to monetize the whole process, and he has been saying it every time that whatever process that he you know, come in must be very excellent, must be an excellent process. It should not be based on reading or whatever means, or using money, to buy delegates and all of those. So, and with the likes of Atiku, of course, you're right. He's more of a party politician, and as a party politician, they know how to, do their things to get whatever they want. So for Atiku to get the ADC ticket is it's not going to be difficult, thing for him. Looking at the likes of the party leadership as it is today, level David Mark and Arabia Shola, Erify. I was listening to Erify interview. Though I agree with some of the things he said, for a lot of things that as regards, Peter B declaring one term bid. I don't think I agree with him because, of course, they would say, oh, the unafraid Nigerian politician will always tell you that, okay, they are going to do one term, but they end up completing their two terms. And if you check, it will be, this is not his first time of bringing, this proposal. If you check, based on antecedent, of course, he has said that before, even before the 2023 general elections, and she's not like coming today and trying to gain people's sympathy votes, all of those. It's man of his word. He has a proven track record, and if he says that, of course, I trust he's going to deliver. And being four, I mean, 8 10. So of course, we saw reap to him. I mean, the late Mahmoud Dubai, he did 8 years, and the 8 years, I don't think we can, see the significant project or things that you can say, okay, he actually did during his time. Of course, he did some projects, but if you should look at all the things he has done, is just like he wasted, most of the terms that he spent being a president. So I think it's about the intention, as a leader, they're coming to lead a country of over 12 million Nigerians. If you have the good intention, I don't think you should. It should not be about the numbers of years that you're going to use to deliver your manifesto. And with somebody like Peter B, he knows what he's going to do. It's totally different from Tinubu, 100%. I'm a Yoruba person, but I would pick him 100 times better than Tinubu. When it comes to clear intention of what he wants to do, in government. Why the present government is getting it wrong is because a lot of plans or policy, even a lot of them are also what Peter B also proposed they're going to do. But the thing is, they don't have the idea of how he's going to go about this thing and get it done without the Nigerians having that impact, the negative impact of the policy and all those things that they're going to put up together. So that's the missing line. So if Peter B is going to do 4 years and is going to deliver, he's not about. I've always said he's not going to be about the gigantic projects. The numbers of projects are going to do just like what this regime is doing now. They they've introduced a new Nigerian curriculum, reverse Nigerian curriculum. And I was going through the content, and I was seeing some things that has to do with coding and a lot of those things. I think of them can you even boast of that have good infrastructure when it comes to but we know that this thing are just for the optics. Reality is something that they might not even be able to achieve within the numbers of time they're going to spend in government. So when we bring out policies, I think you know uh, Tinubunomics. I think, of course, I did a fact check. That was yeah, just put the record straight. I think it's important that we understand that whatever he said, nobody should come to try to interpret or tell you, oh, he doesn't mean it this way. Is what he meant. No, we understand the body gestures. We understand what he said. Uh, to quote him, he said that he met it at the rate of 1,900 naira to $1, which of course is false. It's inaccurate. Bamboozle, gullibles, puppies that are not research vast or they're not ready to even read the details to be sure what you know
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I had a call. Somebody kept calling me. So led to Jackpa 1.0. It led to a lot of families struggling. Pickup. He was driving from Benin to not buying a. There's even the Russian-made cars back then. Lada. My neighbor had Lada. I don't know if you know that car. Lada is a Russian-made car. A lot of businesses went down the drain. Today we are celebrating ShopRite. Before ShopRite, we had Leventis shops. We had UTC shops that were debts. You know, Nigerians went to those supermarket to shop things, right? You are eroding the economy. That every call we get or is, I bet I figure 5K, I figure 10K. I get one small issue now. What is the issue? Is always food. Because it's almost